Okay. Okay, this is Eric Deloach, your residential songwriter, of course, and also book author. We have a special guest, and trust me, this is a special guest because we're talking about music, which is, one of the best things. But with no further ado, let's allow him to introduce himself, and we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rico Dawson. I am a singer-songwriter, I'm an artist, and I'm also a music educator.
Okay, so tell me about, because I read, tell us about how did it start with you for music? How did music start for you?
Wow, we got to go way back. And I've said this before. Growing up in the African American community in homes,
Right.
you are the entertainment. The children are the entertainment for the adults. So actually, the musical journey actually started when my brother and sister, my cousins were little, and when our family we have large family gatherings, we were the entertainment. So that's where the journey started, man. Singing, old songs like the Jackson 5 songs and stuff like that. And I was the lead singer because that's what my cousins and my brother said, you sing the lead. So that's where the journey started.
Okay. And so when did the songwriting begin?
Um, and I was in the military, 1987. I met this guy, and I still keep in contact with him today. His name is James Davis. We call him Jazzy. He was the first guy that I met that I called him a prodigy because he wrote, he rapped, he arranged. I mean, he was only like 19,
Wow.
but his dad was a professional singer. He's originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, so he was groomed. So he was around music all the time. So initially I was a singer. And one day he's like, you're gonna learn I'm gonna show you how to write. And when I started writing, I was hooked, man, because it allowed me to just express myself in a way that I had never imagined. So it allowed me to just open up some things within myself.
Okay. And then when did you take the journey for education in music?
Okay. After I graduated 1995 from Elizabeth City State University, historically Black college,
Yeah.
great mentors, great professors. Man, I graduated and I got an internship at a record company.
Okay.
And like every young person who enters into the music industry, you're thinking that this is going to be the move and the next step. And unfortunately, it wasn't because the company I worked for, there was a lot of issues as it relates to the leadership. And it was a small independent label. And as well as I do, independent labels, when they make decisions as it relates to recording and stuff like that, they have a limited budget. So they have to make sure that the process is timely and is strategic. Unfortunately, the guy that ran the company did not think in that manner, and the business folded while we were doing the internship. And I moved back home to North Carolina, and I said I'm going to use my degree. I'm not just going to allow it to be wasted. And before I got into education, I did stuff with the youth, coached. I did security because of my military background, and I got into education in 2001, teaching as what they call lateral entry, and that lateral entry is for people that have a degree in music, but they don't have the teaching certification. So I had to go back and take some classes, and I had to take the praxis. And once I did that, I was able to get into education. Started teaching at the elementary level, teaching the babies, K through 5. And then after I did that for a while, I wanted another challenge, and I went to the high school level. And I taught high school chorus for about 8 years. And then recently, I just made another transition. Now I'm transitioning. I'm teaching middle school course. So I just completed my year. Well, I moved to the from the high school to the middle school level this past year. So I moved there. I transitioned in December. So I'm just completing. Next week will be the end of the 6 months that I've been at the middle school level.
Okay, great. And I see that you, for like independent artists and different things that you and groups you were able to write. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Well, when I was in college, I actually started writing for the group that I was a part of. It was an R&B group called Next Episode. It was a quintet, and myself and my friend Richard Ash. We were actually the writers of the group and arrangers. And it was, he and I co-wrote, so we have a brilliant working relationship. We just feed off each other's energy, and it's really easy to write with him. In fact, he's the only other person I've ever collaborated with that it just clicked. And we wrote a lot of the demo songs that we performed, and it was just awesome, man. That part of the process I gravitate to. Just being able to write, it's just amazing, man.
Wow. Have you had the opportunity to write for any, signed artist that's on a, what would you say, on a mid-sized label or major artist? Have you gone there yet?
No, I have not, but I'm eager to. I mean, I've reached out to some people, but
Right.
when you're not the hot person, people are very reluctant to do that, and I
Right.
just have to prove, I guess.
Right.
That's why I went ahead and did my own project to show people that I could do the writing and the production as well.
Right.
To show people that I'm able to do that. But
Right.
and not I'm open to it, very open to it, but I have yet to have somebody serious to reach out. I did write lyrics for a jazz piece in 2013. A
Right.
band reached out to me, wanted me to write lyrics to the instrumental that they had produced, and I wrote that, and that was a great, it's a lot of improv in it. So that tested me to see if I really had it, and it went well.
Right. So what did reason I want to talk to you just personally myself outside of just the audience, but I'm sure they're interested too. What do you think now about what compared to, let's say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago? What do you make now of the music industry? What are your thoughts? And just how, one time you didn't have a 360 deal, now you have a 360 deal, for example. What do you make of the whole music industry? And then I guess the follow-up question would be, what do you think R&B is alive or dead?
Okay. Now, to answer your first question, I really like where the industry is going in the aspect of the independent artist. I remember in 1995 when I started, when I graduated, I actually for about 2 years, I chased the dream. I
Right.
was a solo artist. I showcased in 1998 at the Philadelphia Music Conference. I did a demo submission to another industry event. I was out there, and for an independent artist in the 90s, if you didn't have a strong financial backing, it was almost impossible to compete with the big boys. But
Right.
now that the internet and internet radio, which is a blessing, is in play now, and things are different, you're able to get your product out there, and you don't have to go through the major labels and the publishers and all of that. The stuff that you had to do in the 90s, you don't have to do it. However, creatively, I think that the music industry as a whole is lacking because it's a lot of cookie cutter. And I think that we need, and I think has a lot to do with the labels wanting you to sound like somebody else. I remember in '95 when I was sending stuff to major publishers and labels. They were rejected because they say you don't sound like this. We want you to sound like this, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's not me. I'm creative. I can't be cookie cutter. And I think that the real artists, the people that are really creative, they're not getting the just due because they want them to sound like somebody else. And if you're true to your craft, you shouldn't want to sound like anybody else. To answer your second question, R&B, I think that it could be better. The songwriting is not how it was. And my wife and I were just talking about this. The 90s was to me, was the last great era of R&B songwriting. And R&B groups, male and female, solo artists, and it's not like that now. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it's not like it was. I think for me, the last great era of rich R&B was the 90s, all the way from 90 to 99. And then when the 2000s rolled around, maybe, but then you started seeing the fall off. So that's why R&B is not where it should be, and it's not getting the flowers of the product.
Right. Now, do you think, I mean, I kind of feel like, I don't know, it seems to me like I think R&B was kind of dominating at one time, and maybe the people that were in the industry, they made pop artists that sound, they kind of copied the R&B artists, and they came up with all these pop.
That's
and then I don't know, it was an effort to undermine R&B, because R&B was top, was Hot 100, hitting all the way up. Yep. And I think now it can make a comeback, but like yourself and myself and others, that you really need songwriters. And I'm all for the artists writing songs as well, but I think with some of their songs, they need to collaborate with good songwriters and producers, and then over time, especially with the concert market, then R&B can come back and force it way back up to the top.
Yeah, I agree with that. We have a lot to work on, and now it's all about the likes and stuff like that. But some things, they have this model out with the old, in with the new. There's some things you just don't change. And one thing you do not change is the development of artists. Now these record companies they're like, you need to be developed before. And I don't agree with that, because my thing is that record labels are the machine. Right. You have unlimited amount of resources. Why not develop your artists for the long haul? It's just like they expect them to be able to handle things. And if you haven't been, and I just go back to the Berry Gordy era in Motown, he had artists and repertoire where they developed the artists on everything, not just songwriting, picking songs, but how they do interviews, how they carry themselves. That model is gone. He set it up. Berry Gordy laid the foundation. And because people want everything, this is a popcorn microwave age where everybody wants it now, but they don't want to put the process in. And that's not how it is. I tell my students that all the time. To get to the point that you can do stuff at a high level, there's a process. You have to grind for it. And if you're not willing to do that, you won't achieve that success that you're looking for. And it's the same thing with the music industry. Everybody's not grinding. People want gimmicks. And, if you're an artist, you should be thinking about, when I go live and perform, am I giving my money's worth to these people that are paying these astronomical amounts on a ticket? And if you're not, then you're cheating the fans. And that right within itself, you can even go back to the late 90s, where people were doing CDs, doing projects, 18 to 20 songs, and maybe 2 songs were good. You just cheated. You just cheated the artists. I mean, you cheated the fans, because they're looking for your project from top to bottom to be tight, and it's not. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have transitioned from we're going back to the ages in the 50s and 60s, where they release singles. So we're going back to that now, because the totality of everybody's projects from top to bottom is not solid. So people are like, well, why should I spend $10, $15 on a CD when only maybe 3 of them are really any good? I can just go get this the single. So I mean, I think we have messed ourselves up by not putting the work in to create a awesome project from top to bottom. When that listener puts that CD in, or if they download your entire project from the beginning and to the end, you should take them on a musical journey. And I think that we have some of the artists have forgotten that, and they're just trying to go straight to the money. And I've always believed that if you create a awesome project that's timeless, people will come back, and all they have to do is hear your name. He's dropping another project, or she's dropping another project, and that's word of mouth. That's enough said. We have to go back to that, and we have lost that. That's a lost art.
Wow. I know this was going to be a good interview. I knew it was going to be a good interview. I knew it. You really getting into it. Now, how do your kids that you teach, say the high school kids that you should teach and stuff, did they know that you were an artist at one time and a songwriter? Did they ever know?
Only a few of them. What I did in the last several years is I concentrated on them, and they didn't know. Only a few of them knew. And like now, since the project is out, I just did a video. I released it in April, and I put it on my social media, and like everybody's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know." It's a blessing, and I don't do anything to my head. I just thank God for it. But now they're starting to realize, when I tell them these are the certain things you need to sound like, to have a great performance or sound great. Now I'm implementing it, and they hear it. So it's like it's flattering. I thank God for it. But yeah, it's now they know. A lot of my high school students that have graduated several years, they're like, why are we now just finding out about this side of your life? And I was like, because it was not about me, it's about you. I'm here to serve you and teach to get you to that level.
Wow. That's amazing. So I think you did share, but what I would throw out is for songwriters and stuff is in the future, I think when COVID is kind of died down, or maybe a little bit more, that I would recommend, I'll throw one thing out, I think, is to go to concerts, and you can actually get, sometimes you can get the meet and greet ticket or whatever, and say someone like let's say who would I say? I would say somebody like Mary J. Blige or something coming to your town, and she has a meet and greet. Then you could meet, and then just ask management and her, like, I'm a songwriter, and I would love to make a song for you. Let me get your contact information, and I'll send you a demo. And that is a for example, I ran into Macy Gray, and I'm writing now for, something that I can submit and give to Macy Gray. But I met her at a concert right prior to COVID, and so I'm creating the, I got somebody to produce the music, and I'm writing the music now. And I met her after the performance and got a chance to talk to her and to talk to her management, and they said it was okay. Some artists may say no, but then some artists may say it's okay to, if you want to submit some material, and we'll see, if it's good for us. So I'm just throwing that out as because I mean, if you're a very good songwriter, I definitely want to see songwriters and producers get a chance to to submit and possibly get a song out there, maybe a hit song. Because I guess we do know pop or R&B or something like that. A hit song can turn into $500,000 or $1 million, one song. So if you have the talent, I definitely would urge that that's one approach to meeting some of meet some of the artists and management, and then having the opportunity to submit, and you really have the talent and you have something good. I'm pretty sure at some point somebody's going to be open to picking up the song and covering the song, and that may be the big break.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
It's always good to network and meet people, because people are always looking for new material, because I think now the artists, and if you notice, there's a trend. There's a lot of artists that used to be with major labels. They're starting to understand the business and the numbers, and they're like, okay, well, I don't really need a label now because I have a team, and I can have a team of people that can do the things that a label does. And a lot of people like Anthony Hamilton, he has left. Fantasia, she left her label. A lot of the major artists are leaving their labels because they're like, okay, everything that you're doing for me now, I can do for myself. So I can keep most of the revenue, and they're moving on. And and it's easier if they're doing that. Your label, it's layers and layers of, like, what they call firewalls. You have to go through this person and go through that person and go through this person, and you might, before you get to the manager, you might go through 10 or 11 people in the label. So now that a lot of major artists are leaving these labels and doing things independently, that is easier to connect with people. So I would agree with what you said.
And another thing I would throw out is also I got a song in the UK, it's kind of like an underground hit. And what happened is I went to a pre-Grammy party in Atlanta, because I live in Athens, Georgia, not too far, and I ran into some pop artists, and I said, yo, I mean, they had some Sony interests. I said, yeah, I could write something. Let me, and gave them produce something like this. They produced it, and that kind of went, and then I'm getting, paid on that. So what I would say is a conference, if there's any conferences, or some type of events or something that's connecting industry people. That is another way also to connect with people, and then possibly you can get music to who, it could be independent artists, or it could be maybe you work your way to a major artist through their representation. And my thing is, I'm pro book authors, I'm pro songwriters, and I want to see good material out there, and I want to see, good talent get an opportunity to show itself and make the industry. Because I feel like one way to help R&B or whatever form of music, that if especially with songwriters, if we can get connected to some to some of these artists and management and get good music back out, then that will help for the music. You know, of course it'll help us, but it'll help the music to be better and things like that too. And I'm also what I'm thinking too. I hadn't got into that, but I'm thinking too, and I'm just thinking out loud, is maybe some of the blues artists and stuff like that to go to their some of their events, which are not as big, and maybe can write something for them or something, and you know, just get to some of these management and some of these people. And if you have talent, I think somebody, you may have some haters, but eventually if your talent's there, and they're in need, they're running their head into the wall, and they're not really coming up with great product. But if you can give them great product, then I think if it's a hit, I mean, my motto is a hit, don't let it sit.
That's right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out, because I sense that you probably are a very good songwriter, and I definitely want to see, even from that side, that you can have some success there as well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So where do you reside? What state in there, in city and stuff like that?
I am from Goldsboro, North Carolina. I'm about an hour from the state's capital, which is Raleigh.
Okay.
Small town Goldsboro. You know, family oriented. Everybody knows just about everybody, and you know, yeah, that's where I'm from.
Now, where the concerts, they would be in the capital. That's where a lot of the big concerts go.
Yeah, they have. As a matter of fact, I was just looking last week at the calendar for. They actually have 2 outdoor venues in Raleigh. They have the Red Hat Theater, and then they have the Coastal Federal Theater. It's outdoor venues, and they already have their calendars for the summer. So I don't know how I got on that that website, but I was just, you know, I'm always learning.
Right.
And I was going through that, and I was like, okay, so they already got their schedule set up for the entire summer, even going into the fall.
Right.
So it was just interesting. Yeah, those are the 2 venues in Raleigh, and then the Raleigh Durham area, you have Raleigh Durham, Chapel Hill, which they call Triangle, and then further west, a lot of artists, major and independent, they go through Charlotte.
Okay. How far is Charlotte from you?
4 hours.
Okay, 4 hours. But then you still have them in the capital, which is what you said, that's not too far from you, right?
That's an hour.
Okay. That they have concerts and things.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So I definitely would getting pretty close. Something happened with my thing here. But I definitely would say that to what I would say is to try some of that. I just feel that you're probably a great songwriter, and I definitely want to see success. Let me get this thing off of here. I think that you would bring about success if you work with some artists, even some blues artists, but also some R&B and maybe pop artists as well. So, you know, maybe some suggestions I thought throughout that that can work for you, because I definitely would like to hear some of your music out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, what do you closing up? What do you want? What do you want for the music industry for the future? What do you want to see happen, take place?
I would love for some of the old stuff, some of the old methods are still good. Like I was saying, you know, stop being cookie cutter. Because you know, to me, I have heard some great artistry on Sirius XM, because the regular radio stations, they play the same stuff over and over. And it's really, really hard to break into
Right.
those conglomerates. And then unfortunately, and I was talking to my students about this, the music is so dark
Okay.
and so dark and hopeless.
Right.
And the people that are writing the songs that have hope in it, they get buried for whatever
Right.
reason. The industry is feeding off of the children and the young people, their emotions as it relates to darkness, and
Mhm.
that's what's out. And I'm like, why? I'm like, why do y'all listen to that? That's really dark and it's really hopeless, and it's unfortunately that's what the industry is pumping out. If you're not talking about how much money you have, how many girlfriends you have, how many boyfriends you have, that you this and you that, puffing out your chest of arrogance. The people that are really spending time and being artists and songwriters, they don't get the opportunity, and hopefully that will change, because right now the music industry is it's not in a good place,
Right.
because the songwriters, the real musicians are being overlooked,
Eh,
and and that's unfortunate, because we have some people that have a gift. The gift of song, to me, is one of the greatest gifts that God has given certain people.
Right.
Everybody can't do it. They can try, but the people that really have the gift, they can do some things with it. And I really believe that there's some people that they're on the outside looking in, because they don't fit the mold, or
Right.
they will not succumb to the status quo, because they want to remain true to who they are in artistry and in songwriting. And the big conglomerates want you to submit to them, and they refuse to. And I just think about, I've had some people reach out to me, but they want me to do it like this and do it like that. And I'm like, no, I can't. They'll say, well, you need to write like that person. I'm like, I'm not that person. So I can't. I can't give you what I don't have. So
Right.
I don't have that. I can give it to you. So, I think I pray, my prayer is that the music industry will come back to some things that were great, and stop being a cookie cutter, and stop being microwavable. Because if we take time, because as a writer and as an author, it to put out great product, it takes time. I tell my students
It's
all the
true.
time, a great song is like a great book. It tells a story, and it takes you on a journey that is this it's a lifetime. You can always go back. When you listen to that song, it takes you back to that moment of where you were in that time. And if a song can't take you back into that moment, to my in my opinion, it's not a good song. It's just somebody just threw it together, put a nice 808 beat underneath it, a nice bass line, and it just mesmerized. But what is the content? What is the substance? If there's no substance, it won't stand long. So we got to go back to those times of sitting by the piano and writing songs.
I
Uh,
agree. I de-
that's how it should be.
I I agree. Well, I'm gonna something happening over here, but I'm going to yeah, definitely bring you back again. And I hope some of the thoughts that I threw out were good, that helps out, because I definitely want to see your music, hear about your music out there with some of the major artists and stuff like that. So where can people, is there any way that people can reach you or something like that? Or like do you have a web, I think you have a website or something
Yes,
that,
they can go. First of all, I have a website. First of all, before I go into that, they can go to my YouTube channel and view my video.
okay,
It's called Rico Dawson Music at
right,
gmail.com. And then I have my website at Reverb Nation /Rico Dawson.
right.
My Twitter Twitter is at Rico Dawson 5012. And then I have my Instagram account, which is Rico Dawson Music. And then you can go to my Facebook page at Rico Dawson Music, and you'll see updates and stuff like that, things that I have done in the past several weeks, because I've been doing interviews and I've also been traveling some. Hopefully in the near future, there will be some live dates coming up, working on that. So yeah, I'm working, and then I'm also working on the second project, and then working on some music for possible opportunities for artists. So I'm constantly in this. I'm constantly in the lab, man. I'm constantly cooking up stuff. So this is a shout out to all the artists, whether you're independent or major. You're looking for material, just link up with me and get to work.
Okay, I'm going to put your information. You can email me your information. I'll put that in the video, the body of the video, and yeah, and I'll throw out too that also that, and what I need to go as well, and I think is that our songwriters, we need to also look at movies, television, also start breaking into those areas as well.
Yeah, I'm
So
working on that too.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to do it all, man. I'm trying to do it all.
hey, hey, if the talent is there, it's got to get out there. So
Yeah.
we're going to end this one, but you just stick around for a second. I hope that you guys out there got an opportunity to hear from a live songwriter and an educator with music and an artist, producer, all in one. You got a chance to really meet a very creative person today. And if you're in the industry or something, and or if you're somebody who's interested in somebody writing and helping you out with your project, TV or just independent or major, whatever, his information will be at the bottom of the video. Definitely check his material out and stuff, and definitely contact him. But until next time, and we hope that we'll have him back another time. But I hope this was enough to kind of just touch you for a little bit and give you a little taste of the music industry a little bit. And until next time, we'll see you later. See you next time. Okay, you stick around.